A very good afternoon to you doing the watching. It's time for Windy News at 12. Coming up, Akufo-Addo comments Otumfuo for his support to his government. Mahama slams Akufo-Addo and Bawumia government for favoring slogans over substance. And on the international arena, key Russian air defense system hit in Ukraine at a same strike. There's and many more we have coming up in the bulletin. My name is Nana Ama Nyameke Baini. Now the news in detail. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has expressed his appreciation to Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, the Asantehene, for his insightful advice and assistance to his government. The president praised the Asante king for his revolutionary traditional leadership and his enormous contribution to the country's progress. According to him, his participation in important national issues, particularly peace building, remains essential to the stability and advancement of the nation.
I send it back, and the back and the better was it teach you the doors. I send it back and the better was the yes of my aunt and so I send you a moment one in Sawa or Fukipa and man, Fukipa, Moko Assembly, one or not a crack, and also to can you say, Koyi Mania, now with the dogs.
Away from that story, the Movement for Change presidential candidate and chairman of the Afrafranto Alliance, Alan Kyerematen, has stated that Ghanaian women and youth will be driving force behind his historic win on December 7th. Speaking to a fervent audience at the Dome Market in Accra, on a campaign trip, he credited his confidence to their resounding endorsement and faith in his great transformational plan. Market women and small business owners have overwhelmingly praised the Traders Bank, one of Alan Kyerematen's GTP's most notable measures, as he reaffirmed his commitment to empowering women through loan availability and the construction of contemporary market facilities with clinics, childcare centers, and parking lots. The Dome Market traders erupted in applause.
On the 7th of December, the young people of Ghana, you have the capacity to make the next president of Ghana. You have the power to determine who becomes president. The power is in your hand. Moma Alan Kyerematen and be a president. Now you have a future. And when you are saying, I'm very, and Yajipa, you try to come and say, number one side, there's hope for the youth in Ghana. And so
still on politics, the National Democratic Congress flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, has criticized the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration for failing to solve the urgent issues that Ghanaians face. He charged that the administration prioritizes catchy phrases above meaningful actions to enhance citizens' quality of life. Mr. Mahama voices alarm about the disregard for farmers, who he says are essential to Ghana's economic stability, in a Facebook post on November 25. The Electoral Commission of Ghana has directed its regional directors to restrict media and observer access to coalition centers. in order to ensure a safe and effective collation process during the general election in 2024. Only 8 media outlets will be permitted at each constituency collation center under the new rules. The EC has limited the number of media outlets at the regional collation centers to 12, which includes 5 television stations and 7 radio stations. In an interview with Eyewitness News on Tuesday, November 26, EC Deputy Commissioner Dr. Eric Bosman Asare explained the decision. He clarified that the limitations are meant to guarantee seamless operations at the constituency and regional levels and expedite the collation process. In a related story, the Electoral Commission has been encouraged to re-evaluate its decision to limit media access to collation centers during the 2024 election by the Media Foundation of West Africa. The MFWA contends that because the electoral process mostly depends on the media supervision function, that mandate may jeopardize the accountability and openness.
And as many of you may have observed in the last few days, we are beginning to see a trend of so-called broadcasters mounting disinformation campaigns to mislead the voting public about the voting processes, the days of the election, the activities of the Electoral Commission on notable radio stations. These developments are not only worrying, but could portend danger for our country when added to the already existing tensions emanating from the ethnic and chieftaincy conflicts we are all aware of. Generally, misinformation and disinformation and malinformation characterize the dark side in the growth of the media and technology facilitated by the digital age and now the utilization of generative AI at market scale. This is the reason why we are urging the government of Ghana to continue with the good faith of keeping the internet on and not interfere with it. The best way to fight darkness is by shining the light, and brightly so. When people can share their opinions freely on the internet, watch live streams of the electoral proceedings, and engage each other on social media platforms about the developments on the elections, it fosters trust and transparency. It makes everyone feel they are involved in the whole process. Tampering with the network at this critical time is not only backward, but further increases tensions, suspicion, and provides fodder for the troll farms, cyber troopers, and disinformation agents to peddle more false narrative. And this time, it may appear believable because we all do not know.
Still on elections, ahead of the 2024 elections, the Greater Accra Regional Peace Council chairman, the Right Reverend Samuel Osabute, has called on people and communities and also political organizations to foster respect, trust, and understanding between people. Speaking on his behalf at a Preventing Violent Extremism Education workshop in Accra, Right Reverend Samuel Osabute emphasized the importance of taking preventive action to deal with possible threat to, during, and beyond the general election. The Greater Accra Regional Peace Council hosted the gathering, which brought together opinion leaders, vulnerable groups, members of political parties, and other stakeholders to talk on how to guarantee peaceful election. Now we'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back to the international arena.
As we venture forth into the grand arena of the 2024 general election, where we shall cast our votes to determine the guiding force of our beloved nation, we implore each and every one of us
to prioritize our dear motherland above the divisive realms of political parties and their charismatic figures. In this crucial moment, we find ourselves with no alternative but to embrace the resounding call for peace.
Let us consciously opt for peace, for it is the noble choice
that surpasses the destructive powers of violence and warfare.
I am Priscilla Akwabwa, a level 200 geography student from the University of Education, Winneba. I stand for peace.
My name is Emmanuel Atamenza, a level 300 geography student from the University of Education, Winneba. I consciously opt for peace.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. Now to the international arena. Russia has made a rare admission, saying that a key air defense system and an air base in the Chaos region were hit by Ukraine with U.S. applied ATACMS missiles. The Defense Ministry statement, which threatened retaliation, came a day after Ukraine said it had hit its target in the region. Meanwhile, Ukraine's Air Force said Russia launched a record of 188 drones in a single attack on Monday night, damaging critical infrastructure. Tensions have been high since the U.S. reportedly allowed Ukraine to use ATACMS missiles on target inside Russia last week, in response to Russia deploying North Korean troops. Before we end the news, a recap of the stories that made headlines. Akufo-Addo commends Otumfuo for his support to his government. Mahama slams Akufo-Addo and Bawumia's government for favoring slogans over substance. And on the international arena, key Russia air defense system hit in Ukraine atomized strike. And that will be all for today's Windy News at 12. My name is Nana Amma Inyamike Bani. Thank you for doing the watching and do have a good afternoon.